2024, the adoption of cryptocurrencies remain a subject of great interest, influencing financial markets and sparkling debates on regulations. As financial giants integrate blockchain solutions, countries are exploring the creation of official digital currencies. However, persistent challenges such as price volatility and security concerns hinder the widespread adoption. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Analytics Insight podcast, where we talk about the ever-evolving technology space. And I'm your host, Priya Dayalani. Now, despite the challenges, communities and businesses are exploring new applications of crypto, from decentralized finance to asset tokenization. The future of cryptocurrency adoption continues to be dynamically influenced by technological, regulatory, and social factors. Now, to talk more on the crypto adoption, regulations, and challenges, today we have Dr. Krishnendu Chatterjee, co-founder and CEO of A to Z Crypto. Hi, Dr. Krishnendu. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing fine, Priya. Thanks for having me.
Great. It's a pleasure to have you with us on our podcast today. So probably let's start by telling our listeners what exactly is A to Z Crypto and its specialization or any specific services that the platform offers.
Right. So as Priya mentioned, I'm the CEO and co-founder of A to Z Crypto. A to Z Crypto is a FIU registered company, which is basically the registration that Indian government wants all the crypto companies to have before they can operate legally in India. We specialize in over-the-trade counter deals, or OTC deals as we call it. So basically these deals are high-value deals with low numbers. And most of the time people don't want to go through an order book or an exchange to buy or sell large amounts of crypto. So we are the venue where even other exchanges and high value clients, HNIs, buy or sell with big ticket sizes. We also have a collaboration and partnership with XREX, which is where I used to work previously, for letting people just onboard with INR into their platform and trade, or even use their platform for other financial activities. So that's what we do generally. And we are the only OTC in India, primarily, which has the FIU registration. All the others are mostly doing OTC along with all the other services.
Okay. Glad to know about A to Z Crypto, and thank you for briefly explaining us about the platform and the company. But I think you've also spent like a decade in Taiwan, and you were working with some crypto startups and you were trying to deal with certain challenges that are plaguing the crypto industry and its potential in the mainstream finance. So can you also tell us more about your role and contribution towards the company, or probably how your journey started in the crypto space?
Yes. So I was in Taiwan for around 10 and a half years, 5 of which I did my PhD. So during the last years of my PhD, I was introduced to crypto while I was traveling to Germany by a friend of mine, paying using Bitcoin in a German bar. So it was a serendipitous opportunity for me to just get introduced to this space. So after I graduated, I started working in a crypto industry where they started giving blockchain as a service. So initially I worked as a product manager come BD, and then I shifted to more on the technical consultant come pre-sale BD role. And then in my last role, I was head of partnership for a crypto exchange called XREX, which is also my present partner. So here I was mostly dealing with challenges around banking, payments, regulations. So back in 2020, when I started, there were hardly many jurisdictions which allowed crypto and regulated it either as an asset or as payments. So over the last 3-4 years, a lot of countries have come up with regulations in the crypto space. So I was, you can say, at the forefront of this, and I saw it firsthand how banks went from negative to pro-crypto, how regulations came in, how big companies, big giants, which were previously giving non-KYC accounts for trading, has to conform to the government regulations, and also the different ways that crypto can be used, primarily stable coin for payments and the Bitcoin and other altcoins for investments in asset classes. So that's where I got my training into compliance and regulations in different kind of product that can be used by taking advantage of the existing TradFi space, but also since crypto is an asset which you can trade 24/7 into 365 with unlimited liquidity, how it can be extended and made more efficient. So that's my experience, and that's why I started this company where my present role is to do partnerships, to maintain good, healthy relationship with banks, financial regulators, and also to do check the regular day-to-day activities for a sustained and increased profitability.
Right, quite fascinating, I must say, Dr. Krishnendu. And you also mentioned about stable coins and bitcoins, and of course, we're going to talk more on stable coins moving forward. Crypto, like as we know, it's not something like a new concept because it's been there since years. But in countries like, especially if you're talking about emerging markets, and if you're talking about Argentina and Venezuela, the use of crypto has become more significantly stronger. In 2023, crypto is increasingly being adopted by emerging and frontier markets, according to analyst firm Chain Analysis. And developing economies, specifically India, populate much of its recently released crypto adoption index and highlighting a key trend in global finance. Now, in the bustling digital corridors of India's economic cryptocurrency is stirring more conversations and also controversy as it presents like a new frontier in the financial landscape. So I wanted to understand what are your views on the crypto adoption in emerging markets, and specifically if you can highlight in the Indian landscape.
Correct. So as you rightly mentioned, in countries like Venezuela and in conflict-torn countries like Ukraine, Syria, where people don't have access to proper banking or where the central bank doesn't have access to the SWIFT channel. So here people are more reliant on using crypto these days because their currency is just inflating at an enormous rate, right? So their asset is depreciating quite a lot. So here stablecoin and also other asset classes like Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. plays an important role in safeguarding the interest of the people. So in countries where economy is not that good, people are moving towards stable coins. So actually, on the bad side, dollarization is happening. But on the good side, this is setting a precedent where countries can also adopt their own CBDC and use their CBDC for exporting their debt or fight against this dollarization process, which I'll come to later on when I explain, the stablecoin side. Now, coming to India, back in 2017, 2018, when I just got into crypto, since I had a PhD, most people came to me and said, hey, why did you get into, gambling industry? Because the perception of crypto was very different. I shifted back from Taiwan last year to India. And now people are asking, how can I get exposure to crypto? Where can I custody crypto? So these are all the questions which has moved crypto from the, just people's mind frame has changed and moved people from the backside of their mind frame to, right at the forefront. So this has happened for any investor because most of the investors have seen that ETFs, Bitcoin ETFs and Ethereum ETFs getting approved by the Western nations and also some countries like Hong Kong, etc. So they understand that this is an emerging asset class and they want to get an exposure. So the mindset has changed. But since in India, crypto is not really classified either as a commodity or a security or even under the Payments Act, so two problems arise. One is people are not really sure what they are buying, although there's a taxation policy that they have to follow, which is very clear. And second, the regulators themselves are not very sure who should regulate. Is it SEBI or should it be RBI? So I think that sort of clarity is still missing in the Indian space. And once that comes in, which I hope will come in the next 2, maybe 3 years, then a lot of institutional interest will happen. And whatever interest is already there will be converted to some action and people will actually start getting exposure and holding crypto assets on their balance sheets.
Right. I think your experience of how people were initially speculative with regards to crypto and now, they want more exposure in terms of crypto and crypto adoption. It clearly somehow signifies that people are initially quite reluctant whenever a new technology comes in and they're very speculative as to how it can help them. But over a period of time, I think they understand the value that it brings to the table, and then, slowly and gradually the adoption takes place. And I think that's there for any sort of technology, be it crypto or, probably Internet of Things or artificial intelligence that we have been, artificial intelligence was first, of course, met with a lot of resistance saying that, it might replace human jobs. But now I think we all are interconnected with artificial intelligence in our daily lives as well. So when we're talking about crypto, and when specifically in India, I think India's demographic setup is uniquely positioned to propel the adoption of cryptocurrencies. With over half of its population at the age of 25 and a smartphone penetration rate swiftly climbing up, the digital activity of Indian consumers provide fertile ground for crypto markets. Now, I was just going through one of the recent report, and it said India is one of the top countries in terms of cryptocurrency ownership, with an estimated 100 million crypto owners as of May 2023. So while we still consider India as an emerging market, despite the facts that I just mentioned, so are there any certain opportunities that probably emerging markets can capitalize on with regards to crypto adoption or the use of crypto?
Yes, there are few which I think India should focus on, and the government should also, support it. So, first of all, I'd like to, correct this fact that there's like 100 million crypto users. What most people do when they are doing this kind of surveys to add up all the crypto exchanges numbers, and they just tend to get to that number of 100 million. Well, I personally think the number is much less than half of that. The reason being, India as a population, even in the investment space in stocks and bonds and mutual funds, etc., there's like hardly 200 million users, right? So I don't think that India has half of that population investing in crypto. The number tends to get exaggerated. But yes, definitely there is some ways that the government and also people in India can look into towards crypto. More specifically, I would say Web3. Wherein in the Web3 space, the number of developers that are there is around 20% roughly, or 18 to 20% roughly of the total Web3 developers in the world. So that's a huge number that we have. And most of them are under the age of, let's say, 35. So a lot of these people are earning in USDT and Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies. And then they are spending it in India. So a lot of, remittance is coming inside, or payments is coming inside in the form of cryptocurrencies. So the government should look into it and encourage it so that they get good returns out of it. And since it's not dependent on the SWIFT network, so that's also one thing that the government can consider, because SWIFT, as you all might see, understand that it's more of a necessity right now, and the US government, which controls majority of the SWIFT network, they can use it as a weapon against some of their so-called enemies. So these are the two things which I think crypto is moving forward. And lastly, we as a nation, we have always played catch up, be it in the early 90s, where we were trying to be the software outsourcing company for all the major US firms, be it in the mid 2000 to late 2000, where we were trying to be the service center and R&D center. But Web3 and crypto has really pushed India at the forefront, and rightly so from technology aspects. We are making technology from India to the world. So we have Polygon, we have Biconomy, we have certain other cases like ENS, Ethereum Naming Service, which are core crypto companies which have been incubated from India, and they have been globalized, and people are using it on a day-to-day basis. So here is a chance where India is not just playing catch up. Even if you consider the AI space, India is playing catch up and is kind of behind the curve compared to the global space. But in crypto, India is actually at the forefront. So if the government can encourage them with proper regulations around this space, proper sandbox environment where people can experiment, like you can see in Dubai or Singapore, I think then crypto has a huge chance of not only showcasing India's strength in the tech sector, but also bringing in employment, bringing in financial independence, stability for these people. So from the perspective of a nation, we will be moving forward from a nation which is providing services to other global companies to being a place where we are creating products for the world. So that will be like a huge change for us.
Right. I completely agree, and glad to know that India is one of the countries which is at the forefront of crypto adoption. And also thank you for clarifying regarding the 100 million users, where when you're more focusing on the practical numbers, because those numbers are more emphasized and they're exaggerated. So thank you for clearing that as well. But when I think the usage of crypto has also evolved over the years, and as the cross-border payment landscape changes and digital currency exchanges evolve for more practical usage, I think one of the main hurdles is to solve has been the stability of popular cryptocurrencies and digital assets. Like the speculative trading of assets like Bitcoin or Ethereum have triggered volatile swings in the value, and also cropped in some doubts into the minds of mainstream businesses that could otherwise benefit from a blockchain-based payment system. And that's why we are more focusing on stable coins. So what can you help us explain what exactly stable coins are, and how stablecoin payments can be one of the driving forces of cryptocurrency adoption?
Sure. So basically, stablecoin is a coin which is backed by fiat or currency like US dollar or Singapore dollar or euro. And you use this €1 or one USD and you put it in the bank, and then you mint a coin which is backed by this US dollar. So now this coin is on chain, which is basically on the blockchain, any blockchain you can use. Let's say you're using Ethereum. So you can move it from one place to another place, or from one wallet to another wallet. And then payments can be done using Ethereum blockchain network, which has finality of less than a few minutes, instead of waiting and going through the SWIFT network, which can take T+1 or T+2 or T+3 based on the banking. So that's one thing which is faster. Second is you can also use a kind of escrow system in the crypto space, wherein you can use it payments without the exorbitant escrow prices. So essentially, you're moving the banking escrow services on chain, and it's much more visible. So you know how much money is in the escrow. So visibility wise, transparency wise, is much more better. Third, in some countries like UK, stable coins is already under the Payments Act. So if you are in UK and if you want to receive payments in form of stable coins, you can actually put it in the books, and you can say that I'm holding this much stable coin, which is equivalent to this much USD or euro. But in some countries like, let's say, Taiwan, you cannot put crypto on the books for accounting. So what they do is they immediately convert the stable coins to their local currency or USD, and then they put it on their books, because it's not illegal to receive crypto as form of payments, and you can do so in a lot of these places as well. So that's what stablecoin is in gist. How the stablecoin issuers make money. So the $1 you put it in the stablecoin, part of it they will put it with a bond or in a money market fund, and they will earn some yield, and part of it they will keep it under liquid in a bank, and then if somebody is redeeming the stablecoin for dollars, they will be sending it the fiat or USD to the user. And how does user use it? So they use it for payments, remittances. They use it for paying their payroll for their employees. So a lot of these Web3 companies whose employees are based in India, they're getting paid in stable coins and even other crypto. And a lot of them is also used for trading against Bitcoin or crypto, etc. So the history of stablecoin is very interesting. Back in 2015, 2016, when China banned the crypto for the first time, OKX and Binance both came out and they said, okay, fine, we don't allow any crypto, but you can buy stable coins with your local RMB, and you can put it in our exchange, and you can trade with your stable coin. And your stable coin can be redeemed for Bitcoin or crypto, or it can be redeemed for US dollar. But you cannot redeem it for the local currency. So that's how they got around the space. And slowly, people understood the use cases of stablecoin, the liquidity increased in stablecoin, and then it got acceptance like half a decade later in the payments and remittance size of the business. For India, I think it's a very crucial juncture, because if they decide to move forward and ban stablecoins altogether, it will be a big blow. Because irrespective of the ban, people who are comfortable getting paid in stablecoin, they will just move on underground. But if they regulate the space like US has done or UK has done, then it will also get some independence from the SWIFT network, because then essentially they can create their own stablecoin and back it with the INR. So that way your dependence on the US dollar goes away quite a bit.
Right. I think you mentioned it very rightly that if we are not regulating the stable coin payment landscape, then I think it might somewhere create a different set of challenges in terms of the financial growth of the India's economy. Because, like you mentioned about the significance and importance of stable coin, I think that these can play an important role in terms of how we can probably change or shape the future of digital payments in a country like India. And you also mentioned about regulating that space. So moving forward, I think my next question is around that. When we're talking about regulation, I think the crypto regulation itself has also evolved over the years. And in the early years, I think there was a lack of clear regulatory guidance, resulting in a somewhat unregulated environment. That's what people were really afraid of when they wanted to invest in cryptocurrencies. They were afraid that it's an unregulated market. So, but as the industry became increasingly important and the risk associated with cryptocurrency also became more apparent and people were aware of these risks, I think government also started began to act soon. And then there was establishments of regulatory bodies to monitor and create rules that can protect investors as well, but also maintain certain sort of stability in the market. So what are your views on crypto regulation? Like, if you can highlight on the significance and the need, or are there certain changes that you would want to propose in terms of what can be done in the crypto regulation space?
So before I answer this question, I'd just like to go back a bit and talk about how crypto evolved. Right. So back in 2008 to 2012, when the first, kind of halving happened, most of the people who were dealing in crypto were nerds and people like computer scientists and technicians or students who are just mining Bitcoin for fun. Then after 2012 to 2016, people like me came in who understand a bit of the tech, but were also interested in, some financial gains and see if this can really change the world. So we call them the crypto-enabled people right now. So after the 2017 halving or 2016 halving, 17 onwards, a lot of traders came in because crypto is one of the most fragmented asset class. So you had a lot of chance for doing arbitrage from one place to another place. So essentially you buy in one place and sell in another place, and then you move the money and then you buy in another one place and sell in another place, and you keep on doing it. So that's where Binance's and CoinExes and KuCoins came up, and they have like 20x leverage to 100x leverage in different coins. So these traders love the volatility and the ease of trading from the comfort of their home, 24/7, 365, or from the comfort of their workplace. So moving forward in 2020, things started shifting and a lot of institutional pressure came in. So, PayPal started looking into it. Tesla started accepting it. Some banks started providing crypto as an asset to their high net worth individuals. Some countries like El Salvador started putting Bitcoin and started mining Bitcoin in their treasury and kept it in their treasury. Even Bhutan has crypto in their treasury and they're mining it using hydroelectricity. So all these factors prove towards the point that when it's needed, the government actually is capable of, looking into this space. And if the problem is getting bigger and bigger, or if the number of users investing in crypto and if the number of frauds happening in crypto, and this is a significant amount, then the government has to come in and step in and regulate the space. And that's what we are seeing currently, because a lot of money was being moved using crypto and the government has no visibility over this space. So they started regulating the space. India, with their finance minister, also proposed in G20 that all the countries together should come up and regulate the space, because one country doing it or banning it doesn't really do anything, because now people can then do regulatory arbitrage. So moving forward, the government should look into crypto from two aspects. One is the payments, the other is asset class, and they should put taxes and put regulations the similar way. So for asset class, they should have similar kind of structure like SEBI has for trading stocks, where custodians are different, where exchanges are different, brokers are different. Currently, everything is bundled in one place, so the risk of failure is very high. And the payment side, the RBI should come in and look into stablecoins, how they can use their CBDC and how they can limit dollarization using their CBDC and regulate that space in that manner. So I think these are the things which I would like to see some sort of push from the government agencies in the coming future, so that for the common people it becomes very easy to just invest in crypto and not think about if this exchange is going to go bust, if my money is safe, and all these factors, which you don't see in the TradFi space if you're investing in stocks.
Right. I think that those changes are certainly should be there, and I think the government might consider the things that you have said, and hoping that they would act soon and push these things more rigorously, I would say. But when we're talking about crypto, and we are witnessing a gradual adoption in terms of crypto, even stable coins. But while stablecoins are offering compelling benefits, there are several challenges. For example, regulatory uncertainty or scalability issues, and the need for interoperability between fintechs and the broader financial system. Now, if we consider on the other side that the quick adoption of cryptocurrencies can also worsen existing risks for consumers and financial stability. It can probably lead to currency mismatches or funding challenges, or probably solvency issues that could affect individual and the financial institution alike. So, what are some challenges associated with crypto and stablecoins, and are there any ways that probably we can address these challenges and still ensure a good adoption rate?
Yes, definitely. I think that's a very, very interesting question and very important question, I would say. The way I see it in this manner is governments want to always have capital controls over their citizens because that's how they control people. So most of the countries which are, not so great in terms of laws, in terms of human rights, in terms of, free society, they have more at stake than countries in the West, which are much more liberal. So if you consider stable coins acceptance, it's much more in these countries because that's how they can protect their wealth and that's how they can, get some sort of independence from the existing system. But on the other side, it's very important that the government still has sovereignty to control their currency, have a good forex rates, have good forex depths, etc. And how this can happen is in few ways that the government decide that, okay, fine, instead of dealing in dollars, we are going to deal in some sort of stable coins, which may be dollarized but backed by some other asset. So, Bitcoin but dollarized, or Ethereum but dollarized, or CBDC but dollarized. So your unit of measurement is still dollar, but the underlying asset can be the country's GDP, the country's CBDC, etc. But for that to happen, the country has to have some consensus with other countries, and that way they can then use their country's GDP to grow and not just depend on dollar. Because essentially, what US does is US just prints dollars, and the debt is then, sent out of the country, and then other countries suffer because of that. And the US federal system, as everybody knows, is a private bank, right? So it's not like a central bank also. So they can mint as much money as long as the Congress tells them to mint it. So in this way, I think the government has a very, very interesting way of controlling their sovereignty, but still maintain a bit of independence from the US government, which is currently lacking in the system. And for this to happen, they should really understand how stablecoin operate. Currently, the biggest factor of failure is the stablecoin issuers themselves, they go bankrupt. Because all the bigger stablecoins, let's say Tether, USDC, FDUSD, all these, they are private entities which are issuing stablecoins. Nobody is giving them any kind of license to do it. Although USDC in Circle has some licenses in Singapore and US, but it's still not a sovereign entity. So that is the biggest challenge, I feel, because the trust is as much as you can put the money in and you can liquidate. So that's the only kind of trust you have. So you know that this is valued this much as long as redemption and minting is valid. So the government should come up with some laws, and centrally all the countries should come up with some consensus, like how they can use the blockchain technology to use instead of relying on a traditional SWIFT method. That will really help countries adopt stablecoin, be it backed by public-private entities or be it backed by government itself, to move forward.
Right, and I think stablecoins definitely act as a very promising solutions to the inefficiencies that the cross-border or the traditional cross-border systems are usually plagued with. And if you're offering speed and cost effectiveness and even transparency, I think they have the potential to democratize the access to financial services and also drive global economic growth. Well, having said that, one final question for you, and that would be, what are your views on the future of money?
So this might be a bit controversial because I'll be talking from my perspective as a rebel against the existing system. But then I also understand how governments operate, so I'll try to keep a more balanced approach. So in one side, you have remittances, which is what driving a lot of countries. So countries like India, Philippines, they get a lot of remittances from outside. So last year alone, if you consider, India had over $100 billion worth of remittances. And roughly 4-5% of it is being paid by these people who are doing the remittance to the banks and to the clearing houses, etc. So that's like $5 billion worth of remittance, which was scheduled to come to India, went to the coffers of the big banks or exchange houses. So if you are using stable coins, and if the government accepts stable coin as a form of payment, they can actually regulate the space, and this $5 billion worth of more what value can come in the country. So that's one way of seeing it. So the government can also earn from it, and the government can also have full visibility how much money is being moving. Because unlike banking channels, crypto is much more transparent and everything is on chain. So if people consider crypto as black sheep, but even before crypto, money was being moved by banks and by financial institutes from one place to another, and there is like for scandals, for scams, for blood money, everything. So everything was happening via the banking channels. So you cannot really say crypto is bad because it's just the means, right? So how do you use it? For me, future of money is in such a way that I have full control over it, and if I earn money in a country, like say I'm in India and I'm earning money from India, I put all my taxes in India and I pay the taxes, right? Once I paid the taxes, then I am able to do anything with that money, be it investing in crypto, be it investing in stocks, be it investing in foreign assets, which is currently not allowed by the system. So that's what I envision for normal people to do with crypto, because this gives them a lot of freedom. Also, a sort of movement. So if you are somebody who is earning a lot of money in India, and when you move out of the country permanently, by law, you can only, move $1 million a year out of the country using the traditional banking system because of the laws. So that's kind of, restricting these people from moving out of the country and taking all their wealth out. So that's what the government wants to do. But using crypto, people are already doing these kind of things, which is not regulated and not right, but then they are doing it. So if the government have a policy where, they can just pay the taxes and take their money out, so the government has enough to get from them in one go, then just restricting them and hoping that they will not use means to move this money. So moving forward, the perfect opportunity would be for a country that, okay, whatever people are earning, they have full visibility and they pay the taxes. So on-chain credibility is there and they pay taxes based on that. And for the people, they keep their money with themselves and they have no risk of banks going bankrupt, or if they are moving, they can use their crypto and pay using cards. So right now, MasterCard has created a system, or Visa has created a system wherein you can keep your crypto in a non-custodial wallet and you can then deposit and spend using a card in any fiat. And Visa and MasterCard does the settlement for you. So that's where I think the kind of perfect world order will be in between a fully centralized system to semi-decentralized system. So government still controls everything and has autonomy, but then people are free to spend their money in the way they want to. So that's where I see the future of money going in. Right. I think very, very rightly explained and said, Dr. Krishnendu. And I think despite the challenges in terms of crypto enthusiasm, whether it's price volatility or security concerns, I think crypto has seen a very remarkable growth. And this is clearly a sign that cryptocurrencies continue to be valued for the practical utility and the effective diversification of portfolios they offer. While there are certain uncertainties like, the regulation or how are we going to deal with the regulations, I think. But I think this will not stop the adoption of cryptocurrency, and this does not preclude the possibility that crypto adoption will strengthen throughout this year as well, as the market is evolving continuously on a positive side. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Krishnendu. It was a pleasure talking to you regarding the different scenarios of cryptocurrencies in terms of emerging markets and how the regulations should be in terms of shaping the future of cryptocurrencies and stable coins. Thank you so much, Priya, and thank you everyone for having me here. It was a pleasure, and I hope I could contribute something, to your viewers. Well, definitely you did. So this is for our listeners. Stay tuned for our upcoming podcast, and you can listen and view all our previous podcasts on Spotify and other leading platforms. Thank you so much.